to another Wolverine video.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my rainbow Larksfoot baby blanket. You will need the following. You're going to need at least 3 skeins of your base color if you're using a small skein like Paintbox DK, which is what I'm using. You'll need 1 skein of red, 1 of orange, 1 of yellow, 1 green, 1 blue, 1 navy. Running out of room, you guys. And 1 purple. For this project I used Paintbox yarn Simply DK and a 5mm hook and a pair of scissors. So of course you're going to need your yarn. The blanket that I made is a crib sized blanket, so if you want to make it bigger or smaller, you can do that. You'll just need more yarn. You'll also need a tapestry needle, a 5mm crochet hook or the crochet hook suitable to your yarn, and a pair of scissors. You can also use a plastic crochet hook. Mine is fancy, but I just wanted to say any 5mm crochet hook will do. And of course a pair of scissors. These ones are really cool, so I had to show you guys how neat they are. Okay, to begin we are going to tie a slip knot in our yarn. This is the way that I do it. There are tons of different ways to do it. I'm guessing if you're making this blanket you already know how to do this because this is an intermediate type of blanket. But I just cross it over on the front of my fingers and then flip it over to the back, pull up a loop with my crochet hook, and then hold the short end and pull, and it works every time. So once you have a slip knot on your crochet hook, you are going to chain in multiples of 4. I will be doing 80, but if you want to make a smaller blanket or a larger blanket, just remember that the stitch is done in multiples of 4. Once you have your starting chain done, again I did 80, you are going to double crochet in the 4th chain from your hook, and those first 3 chains that you turn over do count as your first double crochet. So you're going to double crochet in the next stitch, then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet into the next stitch. So the pattern is double crochet 3 times, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet 3 times, chain 1, skip 1, all the way across. Go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way to the end of the row, and I will meet you there. Okay, now that we finished row 1, we are going to, well, I just have one more double crochet to do. So double crochet in that last stitch, and then we are going to chain 3 and turn our work. And again, that chain 3 counts as a double crochet. Then we are going to double crochet into the next stitch, not the first stitch, the next stitch, and one more time into the next stitch. We are going to chain 1, skip over our chain 1 space from the previous row, and double crochet into the next double crochet. So this pattern pretty much just looks like the row before it. You are going to double crochet on top of the double crochets and chain over the chain spaces. So the pattern is double crochet 3 times, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and 3. Then we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip over the chain 1 space and double crochet into the next. And we're going to repeat this all the way across to the end of the row. So go ahead and continue working this pattern all the way across to the end, but do not complete the final stitch of this row because we are going to do a color change. So just work all the way across, doubles on top of doubles, and a chain space over the chain spaces. And when you get to the end, I'll show you how to do the color change. Okay, so we have reached the end of that row and we are on the final double crochet. So you're going to yarn over as usual and insert your hook. Then you're going to pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops, and then you are going to drop this yarn. You're going to get your red, sorry, it's kind of a mess. So you're going to get your red, and you're just going to loop it over your hook and pull it through those final 2 loops to finish the double crochet. And then kind of cinch down with your first color. Leave a nice long tail because we're going to either weave those in or make the border over them later. Then you are going to chain 4. This counts as a double crochet plus 1 chain, and then turn your work. I'm just going to go ahead and trim our base color because I can't stand having a bunch of yarn all attached to my project at once. If you can work that way, that's fine. However you're comfortable doing it, I prefer to just tuck in the ends under the border later. And then we are going to, since that first chain 4 counts as a double crochet plus a chain 1, we're going to skip 1, double crochet into the next stitch, and then we are going to spike double crochet into our chain 1 space, not from the previous row, so not this top one here, but into the bottom one. So you're going to reach down, grab your yarn, pull up a loop, and then kind of shimmy it so that it's the same height as your stitches, and then complete as normal. You're going to crochet into the next stitch, then you're going to chain 1, skip the center double crochet in your little three stitch cluster, and then double crochet into the next stitch. And then you're going to spike double crochet again down into that bottom hole, not the top one. So here I'll show you just so we can make sure you get it. You're going to yarn over and then insert not into the top but the bottom chain 1 space from the first row. So not here, all the way down at the bottom. So not here, we're going to go in here. Okay, so insert your hook into that space, pull up a loop, kind of shimmy it so it's the same height as the rest of your stitches, and then you're just going to yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, just like that. And then you're going to crochet, double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next stitch, spike double into that chain 1 space from the first row, again on the bottom, shimmy it up so it becomes the same height as your stitches, pull through 2, pull through 2, double crochet, then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into that next stitch, then we're going to spike double into the chain 1 space from the first row, the bottom one, pull through two, pull through two, and then double crochet into the next stitch. And this row is going to continue that pattern all the way across to the end. So again, it is a double crochet, spike, double crochet, chain one, skip one, double crochet, spike, double crochet, chain one, skip one. So you're working those spike stitches into the spaces of the chain one in the first row, and then everything else is going to be either a double crochet or a chain. So you should have like one double crochet, one spike double crochet, one double crochet, chain one, skip one, all the way across. So go ahead and continue working on, and I will meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so now that we're at the end of this row and we just finished our last 3 double cluster here, we are going to chain one. We're going to skip a stitch, the chain one space, and then we are going to crochet into the top of the chain 3 that we did at the beginning of the last row. And then we are going to chain 4 and turn. Now remember, this counts as our first double crochet and a chain one. Then you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to skip one and double crochet into that first double crochet of the previous row. Then you're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So on top of that double spike and on top of the next double. We're going to chain one. We're going to skip over this chain one space and double crochet into the next stitch. Going to double crochet into the next stitch, and one more double crochet into the next stitch. Then we are going to chain one, skip one, and double crochet into the next stitch. And this is the pattern all the way across. So you're going to do double crochet on top of each double crochet and a chain one space over each chain one space, just like we did in row 2. So doubles on top of doubles, including that double spike, and then a chain one space over the chain one space. This is the pattern all the way to the end of the row, so go ahead and work that, and I will meet you there. Don't finish the last stitch of this row because we are going to do another color change back to this. What I'm using as a base color is this pale yellow, but whatever base color you're using. So when you get to the end of the row, don't finish the final stitch. Okay, I will meet you there. Okay, so now that we're at the end of the row, we are going to chain one after this last double crochet. And then we're going to insert into the top of the chain 3 that we used as a double crochet at the beginning of the row. We're going to pull through twice, drop the red yarn, and then we are going to change over to our base color, which in my case is this pale yellow. And it's just like the color change we did before. You're going to make a loop, put it on your hook, pull it through the last 2, kind of cinch down that red, and then you're going to chain 3, and then we're going to trim off the red so that we don't have a bunch of skeins attached to our project. And then we're going to turn our work. So 1, 2, 3, and then I'm just going to trim this before I turn my work. Kind of cinch everything down, make sure that none of your ends are going to come loose while you're working. Turn your work, and then we are going to start the next row. It's a little bit different here. So we're going to start this row directly with a spike double crochet into the bottom of this chain one space. So not from the previous row, but the row before it. We're going to do a spike double crochet, not into the top hole, but the bottom one. Kind of shimmy it up so it's the same height as your stitches. Pull through two, pull through two, and then in the next stitch we're going to do a regular double crochet. Then we're going to chain one, and then skip one, double crochet into the next stitch, and then it'll be another spike double crochet into that chain one space from the row before the previous row, so 2 rows back. So the bottom chain one space, that whole, not this one on the top here, but this one on the bottom. You're always going to work into the bottom chain one space. That's how you get that nice long spike stitch in the middle, and that's what creates the Larksfoot stitch. And basically this blanket is just going to be a repeat of what I just showed you. So again, here's a double crochet, then we'll chain one, skip one, double crochet into the next stitch, and then it'll be a spike double crochet into the next stitch, again working into that bottom chain one space. Yeah, not the top, the bottom. Kind of shimmy this up. I find that it works really well if I kind of wiggle my hook. I don't know why that works so well. And then finish as you would a normal double crochet, and then of course you're going to double crochet into the next stitch, and then it'll be a chain one, and then that pattern just repeats all the way across the row. So again, double crochet here, chain one, skip one, double crochet into the next stitch, then it'll be a spike double crochet again into that bottom hole. Kind of shimmy that up, double crochet into the next stitch, chain one, skip one, so on and so forth, all the way across the row. So go ahead and work that to the end of the row, and then I will meet you there. Okay, so now that we've reached the end of our row, as you can see here, I have my spike double crochet, and then I'm going to do a regular double crochet into the top of this chain 3 or chain 4 at the beginning of the last row, which counted as our first double crochet plus a chain 1. So you're just going to work one regular double crochet into the top of that stitch, pull through 2, pull through 2, and then we are going to chain 3. After we chain 3, we're going to turn our work. And this next row will be very simple. You're going to work a double crochet on top of each double crochet and a chain 1 space over each chain 1 space. So into this spike double, I'm going to work 1 double crochet, and then double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, and then I'm going to work a double crochet into the first double crochet of the next cluster. Sorry, my yarn's out of control today, you guys. So I'm going to work a double crochet into the first double crochet of the next cluster, skipping over that chain 1 space. Double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet into the next stitch, and then I'm going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next stitch, double crochet in the next stitch, and one more time into the next stitch. Then I'm going to chain 1 and skip 1. And this pattern repeats all the way across the row. So you'll be doing double crochet on top of double crochet and chain 1s over chain 1s. And then we're creating the foundation for the next row of Larksfoot stitches by making these 2-story chain 1 spaces. And that is the pattern repeat. So at the end of this row, I will do another color change to orange. And then I'll do my spike double row, my regular double crochet row, and then I will switch back to the pale yellow and repeat the process with each color of the rainbow. So I will meet you back here when it's time to put a border around our completed rainbow blanket. I will be doing 3 repeats of each color, so by the time I get to through the rainbow for the 3rd time, the body of the blanket will be done. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here when it's time to put a border on this beautiful blanket. Okay, so now we've finished working all of our colored rows interspersed with the base color, in my case white, this light yellow. Now we're at the end of this last row. We're going to chain 3, and then we're going to turn our work. And this first row of the border is very easy. Actually, the whole border is very easy, but I'll go ahead and walk you through it. So this first row is going to be double crochet in every stitch all the way across the top. So you're going to double crochet in each stitch, and then also in those chain 1 spaces we made in the previous round. And the only thing that's going to be a little bit different is the corners. So go ahead and work your double crochet all the way across the top, and I will meet you at the end of the row and show you what we'll be doing in the corners. Okay, so now I've reached the end of my row, and what I'm going to do is in this last chain 3 space that counts as our first double crochet in the previous row, I'm going to double crochet twice, chain 3, and then double crochet twice. So I've already double crocheted in here 1 time. I'm going to yarn over and insert into the same stitch, and double crochet again. Then I'm going to chain 3. Then I'm going to kind of turn my work sideways. Sorry, it's a little cumbersome with my tiny table. And I'm going to double crochet 2 more times into that same chain 3 space on the end of the row. So again, it's 2 double, 3 chain, 2 double into each corner, and then I'm going to work double crochet down the side of this blanket. When you're working your double crochets down the side of the blanket, remember that you should have 2 double crochets for each row. So the top and the bottom row of each color cluster should have 2 double crochets. So basically 4 double crochets per color all the way down the side. And you're just going to work all the way around the blanket, doing the corners the same way. When you get to the other side with all of your tails, you can either weave them in, or I'm just going to work over them. And then when you get back around to where you started, you're going to attach this row with the slip stitch into the first stitch of this round. So as you can see, the 2 double, chain 3, 2 double makes a really nice corner, and then we're just going to work all the way down the side to the next corner, and then we'll do 2 doubles, 3 chains, 2 doubles, and then we'll do double crochet all the way across the bottom, 1 in each stitch of your starting chain, 2 doubles, 3 chains, 2 doubles in the next corner, then we'll crochet over our ends and meet back up at the beginning corner where we will attach with the slip stitch. So go ahead and work that round, and I will meet you for the next round which will be the final round that I'm going to show you because everything after this is just a repeat of the same. So I will meet you at the end of this round. Okay, so I'm at the end of this round, and what I'm going to do is just work the corner as usual. So 2 double crochets, here's 1 and 2. Then I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to double crochet 2 more times into that same space right there. So there's 1 and 2. And then I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of the last stitch of the first, or sorry, the first stitch of this round. I'm just going to slip stitch and fasten off. And then for the next round, I'm going to take my red and attach it in the first stitch after the corner you just worked. So not in the corner itself, but in the very next stitch. You're going to fasten it on just as though you were doing a color change. And sometimes it's a little bit hard to work your hook in there, so just take your time, get it under both loops. It'll pay off in the end and look a lot cleaner. Please excuse my horrible nails, you guys. I need to redo them, and I've just been super lazy, so they've just been like chipping off, and I've been picking them, so they look horrible. Anyway, you're going to chain 2, and then into the exact same stitch over the tails, you're going to single crochet. Okay, and then you are going to single crochet in the next stitch, and each stitch all the way across to the corner. Then you will work the corner pretty much the same way as we worked with the double, but with single crochets instead. So you'll do a single crochet, chain, or 2 single crochets, chain 3, 2 single crochets in the corner. So I'm going to go ahead and single crochet my way across the top of this row, working over the tails. After a few stitches, if you feel the need, you can trim off your tails. You don't have to work over the entirety of your tails. Mine are pretty long. So I'm just going to keep going along, working over my tails. So just go ahead and keep working your single crochet, and I will meet you at the corner. Okay, so we're at the corner, and now what we're going to do is work it just like in the previous row. The only exception is that we're doing single crochet instead of double. So we're going to work 2 single crochet into this chain 3 space. Then we're going to chain 3. And then work 2 more single crochet into this chain 3 space. And then we will continue to single crochet all the way down the side. It makes this cute little corner here. So then just single crochet into each stitch all the way across to the next corner, and continue all the way around to that first chain 1 that we did, where you'll slip stitch into that chain to finish the round. And then it's just a repeat of that. So the next round will be double crochet in your base color. For me it's the pale yellow, and then a single crochet round with orange, and then double crochet with the pale yellow, single crochet with yellow, and so on and so forth. So we're just going to go all the way through the rainbow like we did making the blanket. So we'll do a row of red single crochet and then yellow double. Don't forget to slip stitch into that very first chain 1 that we did to end the round, and then just fasten off and attach your next color. Then we'll do the pale yellow followed by orange, and then we'll do the pale yellow and then bright yellow, and then we'll do pale yellow and green. So the colors are all single crochet rows, and then the pale yellow is always double crochet. You're going to end on a pale yellow double crochet, or whatever base color you chose, and that's how you make the Larksfoot rainbow baby blanket. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to wear your masks, wash your hands, be kind to yourselves and each other, and don't forget that you are all sacred, beloved, beautiful beings, and I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you for spending some time with me today. I'll see you guys in the next one.